It's the 19th of February 2025. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst's Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo, bringing you the news tonight for the Newsfirst team. I am Jaimal Ratnayaka.
I am Rochelle Tamodra and these are your headlines for tonight.
Ganemule Sanjeeva shot dead inside Halfstoff court. Meghasare Khadja, daughter and son killed in shooting incident. Government vows to intensify efforts to curb underworld activities. Opposition leader pledges support to uphold the law. Innovation Island Sri Lanka Summit in Colombo tomorrow. Health authorities warn to be cautious of hot weather.
In a top story for tonight, Sanjeeva Kumara Samararatna, also known as Ganemulle Sanjeeva, was shot dead this morning inside courtroom number 5 of the Magistrates Court complex in Halsdorf, Colombo. The main suspect in the shooting was arrested within just a few hours of the incident.
Deputy Minister of Public Security Attorney Sunil Bhattakala confirmed that the arrest was made in Palavia, Putlam.
Crime Watch.
At approximately 9:30 a.m., Ganemulle Sanjeeva, a notorious organized crime leader, was escorted from the Booster prison to the Halsdorf court complex under special protection by the police special task force. He was then taken to courtroom number 5 of the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court for a legal proceeding. At around 10 a.m. during the court session, a shooting incident occurred inside the courtroom. After being shot, Ganemulle Sanjeeva was rushed to Colombo National Hospital. He was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. During the incident, a woman present in the court premises sustained minor injuries due to the commotion.
The shooter, who arrived for this shooting, was disguised as a lawyer. Accordingly, he entered the court without any inspection or screening. Additionally, a woman who supported him also entered the court premises disguised as a lawyer. Subsequently, inside the court, when the accused Sanjeeva Kumara Samararatna was about to step down from the dock, the shooter approached him and opened fire.
චෝදිතයා විත්තිකොඩුවේ සිටින අවස්ථාවේදී විත්තිකොඩුවෙන් බැසීමට ආසන්න වීමේදී මෙම වෙඩික්කරු විසින් ඔහුගේ ආසන්නයට ගොස් වෙඩිතැවීමක් සිදු කරලා තියෙනවා.
A book suspected to have been used to smuggle the firearm was later found with the assistance of lawyers. This book is a compilation of criminal procedure codes frequently used by lawyers.
මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි සැක කරනවා
We suspect that the weapon was brought inside a criminal procedure book. Someone cut the book and concealed the weapon inside. The book has now been found in the court's consultation room and handed over to the police for investigation. This could be crucial evidence.
මේ විසින් පොලිසියට මේ වෙනකොට බාර දීලා තිබුණා. මම හිතන්නේ මේක වැදගත් සාක්ෂියක් වේවි.
Later, the court premises were searched using police sniffer dogs.
We need to investigate whether it was necessary to present this detainee in court today. Usually, remand extensions are done via Skype. We need to find out if it was essential to bring this detainee to court today.
මේ රැඳවියා අද දින අධිකරණයට ඉදිරිපත් කරේ කල යුතුව තිබූ නිසාද කියන එක සම්බන්ධවෙනුත් පෙරයක් අපිට හොයාගන්න අවශ්‍යයි.
The Minister of Justice also visited the scene.
මේක ඉතින් ඉතාම භයානක සහ සීරියස් තත්ත්වයක් අපේ රජයේ ඒ බරින්ම ගන්නවා. ඉතාම හොඳ ආරක්ෂාවක් යටතේ මේ අබූස්ලන් ගෙනාවෙත්. නමුත් දැන් මෙතන අපිට නඩුකාරතුමන්ලත් එක්ක අධිකරණ සේවා කොමිසමත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන ආරක්ෂාව තර කරන්නට ඕන.
ජනතාවගේ ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කරන්න පුළුවන් රජය.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම පුළුවන්. ඒක කරන පිළිවෙත ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. මම ඒකයි කිව්වේ අපිට හැම ජීවිතයක්ම වටිනවා. මේ සිද්ධිය අපි ගොඩාක් බරකින් ගන්නවා. සම්පුද්ගලයාට ආරක්ෂාව අවශ්‍යයි. නඩුකාරතුමන්ලට ලෝයර්ස්ලට විතරක් නෙමෙයි පුරවැසියන්ට. ඒක අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ දේ කරනවා.
දැන් ඔබතුමාගේ ආණ්ඩුවක් තියෙන. ඒකට වගකීම සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඔබතුමාලා නේද ගන්නේ?
ඒ වගකීම ගත්ත ඉඳන් මම මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා ඒ අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රතිපාදන යොදන්න හදන්නේ. ඉදිරියේදී මෙවැනි දේවල් වළක්වන්න. ඒ වගේම අපි මේ වෙනට පනතකුත් ප්ලාස්ටි කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ පනත දැන් මම හිතන්නේ ගැසට් මට්ටමේ තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ පනත අනුව අපි ගේන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන එක තමයි වීඩියෝ ලින්ක් කරා සාක්ෂි දීම.
TFPගේ වගකීම පැහැර කරනවා කියලා චෝදනාවක්
නෑ. ඒ නොදන්න මිනිසුන්ගේ චෝදනාවක්. මෙතන මේ පුද්ගලයා නීතිඥයෙක් වශයෙන් සැරසිලාවයි කියලා තමයි ආරංචිය තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඔහු ඇතුළට ගිහිල්ලා මෙන්න ඇතුළේ වෙඩි තියනවා කියලා අවධානය වෙනතකට යොමු කරමින් තමයි ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. මොකද ස්ටිෆ් එක උනත් උසාවිය ඇතුළට යන්නේ නැහැ නේ මහත්මයා. ඒක නිසා කවුරුත් වගකීම් පැහැර හැරියයි කියන කතාව නිකන් අභූත චෝදනාවක් විතරයි. මේ නිශ්චිත මොහොතේ තාම විමර්ශන අනේ හින්දා කිසි කෙනෙක්ට කිසි දෙයක් හරියට කියන්නට බෑ.
The acting Inspector General of Police also visited the scene.
ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් විමර්ශන බාර දීලා තියෙනවා කොළඹ අපරාධ.
Investigations have been handed over to the Colombo Crime Division. We clearly state that the opportunity for lawyers to enter without inspection is high. The suspects took advantage of this. We request the Bar Association to support us in inspecting every lawyer and developing armed officers inside the court. We will seek the necessary approvals from the relevant authorities.
මා කරනවා ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට සහාය දෙන්න සෑම නීතිඥවරයෙක්ම පරීක්ෂා කරන්න ඒත් එක්කම අධිකරණය ඇතුළතත් අවිසහිතව නිලධාරීන් රාජකාරී යොදවන්න අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා ඒ අවශ්‍ය අධිකාරීන්ගෙන් අවශ්‍ය අනුමැතියන් ලබා ගැනීමට කටයුතු කරනවා.
The shooting that occurred has raised several questions in the country, and now we will be bringing you what we know of this incident that took place. Now, to be precise, this shooting occurred in the Magistrates Court, which is in close proximity of the Supreme Court, which is also one of the most high security zones in the country. Ganemula Sanjeeva was brought from the Busa prison in Gaul, and he was also given special security, to be precise 12 STF personnel. Now, as you see in these visuals behind me on this screen, Ganemula Sanjeeva was given a special security escort, and like I said, to be precise 12 STF personnel. Now the question is, how did this shooting take place despite the security detail that was given to him? Now, according to information we have received, is that if this court case is taking place in the first floor of the premises, the STF personnel can only be at the second floor and not where the court case is taking place at the moment. Now, a question that also comes with this is, how did a weapon come inside the premises of the court, or in other words, how was a weapon brought inside the premises of the court, which led to the shooting of Ganemula Sanjeeva? Now, you must have seen several clips rather shared on social media, which has been circulating throughout the day as well, and one such clip that has been circulating is this CCTV footage. Now, this is one such video that has been circulating on social media, and this is that person of interest that you see that was quite wandering around the premises of the court. Now, as you see, he brings a file along with him here to the premises of the court, and with images that was shared on social media, we see a book that was cut into the shape of a revolver which was used to bring the weapon in. Now, how did this come in when you see this person of interest carrying a file instead of a book? Now, the answer to that is this person of interest also had an accomplice with him who had supported in bringing this weapon inside the premises of the court. Now, just like you see in this image, this was the book that was cut out in the shape of the revolver and helped these persons of interest to bring in that weapon in disguise. Now, does this book and that file look the same? Now, after all this happened, after the shooting that happened and all the chaos that happened in court, another question that comes is, how did these persons of interest flee the premises? And according to information we have received, is that this very person is the same person who ran out and cried wolf.
අතුරුතොටක් නැහැනේ පිට වෙන්න ඒ වෙලාවේ ශනික DSG එක හරි STF එක හරි ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙලා පොලිසිය හරි ප්‍රධාන දොරටුවෙන් පිටත් වෙන පුද්ගලයෝ පරීක්ෂා කරා නම් ඔහු අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීමේ හැකියාවක් තිබුණා නේද?
කොඩුව ආසන්නයේ තිබෙන දොර ළඟින් තමයි පිටත් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ අනුමත් සමගම ඔහුගේ
He exited near the dock. As he left, he dropped his weapon on the ground and exited the court, claiming there was a shooting inside. This caused panic among those inside, leading them to rush outside. We immediately reviewed the CCTV footage, and the security officers at the court closed the gates and conducted a search. However, due to the commotion, the suspect managed to escape. Despite this, we have made significant progress in the investigation and believe we will apprehend the shooter soon.
කටයුතු කරන ඒ සියලු ක්‍රියාවලින් වෙන අතරතුරදී ඔහු මෙම ස්ථානයෙන් බැහැරවීමක් සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Tanuja Lakmali has ordered an immediate investigation into the shooting incident that occurred this morning in court number 5 of the Colombo Magistrates Court in Halsdorf, resulting in the death of Sanjeeva Kumara Samararatna alias Ganemulle Sanjeeva.
The Chief Magistrate instructed the police to apprehend the suspects and present them in court without delay. This directive followed a report submitted by the court by the Keselwatta police this afternoon.
Investigating officers informed the court that statements would be recorded from court officials and other individuals present at the scene. They also requested an order to obtain CCTV footage necessary for the ongoing investigation. Considering the request, the Chief Magistrate instructed the registrar to ensure that all relevant CCTV footage is handed over to the police for their investigation. Additionally, the Chief Magistrate conducted an on-site inspection of the courtroom where the incident took place.
Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Amigas Are Khadra, and his 6-year-old daughter were tragically shot dead last night. Vidanagamage's 9-year-old son, who was also injured and was receiving treatment in the intensive care unit at the Ambelipiti Hospital, passed away a short while ago.
The incident occurred when Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Migasare Khadra, and his 2 children were travelling on a motorcycle. At around 10 p.m., Aruna Vidanagamage and his 3 children had left his in-laws' residence in Madamulana with the intention of reaching their temporary house in Thorakolayaya. En route, he dropped off his eldest son in Galpotayaya in order to purchase dinner for their family. Leaving his eldest at the night hotel, Aruna Vidanagamage had proceeded to Thorakolayaya with his 2 children. Aruna and his children were ambushed approximately 1 kilometer after they passed a night hotel where he sent his elder son to get food. The attack took place at the Kadewata junction in Middenia. Sri Lanka police said that Aruna Vidanagamage, aged 39, died at the scene, while his 6-year-old daughter succumbed to her injuries en route to the Virakati district hospital. Police have confirmed that a T-56 firearm was used in the shooting.
Who was Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Khadra?
Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Migasare Khadra, was a notorious figure in the Hambantota district, especially in the areas such as Madamulana, Tangol and Middenia. He had faced multiple accusations related to crimes such as illegal possession of firearms and extortion. He was also remanded several times. Aruna Vidanagamage, also known as Migasare Khadra, had also been closely associated with several prominent politicians in the district. He gained significant attention last year after making controversial statements on a YouTube channel.
I have filed a complaint seeking protection for victims, but I have not received any response. If I open my mouth, there will be many problems. If someone takes responsibility for me, I will reveal everything. Is it only Tajuddin who was made to disappear? When one government comes, it is proven, and when another comes, how does it disappear? I mentioned Tajuddin. What happened to Ruffian Minister of Beliatta? He died in a high-level security zone. How does one die in a high security zone? Even if my life is taken, this evidence will not disappear. The evidence is ready as needed. If something happens to my life, all this evidence will come to the media. If you can kill me, I'm not afraid. These people have already wished me nirvana.
Aruna Vidanagamage made critical remarks about powerful political figures in the Hambantota district. Just days before his death, he posted a message on his Facebook account urging people to focus on living happily without worrying about distant death. His recent political affiliations and activities had also been evident from his Facebook posts, where he expressed support for different political parties. As of this afternoon, no suspects have been identified in connection with the murder. Police investigations are ongoing.
Investigations thus far have revealed that 2 men on a motorcycle committed the murder. Probes have commenced already under 5 teams. Despite him claiming of a possible threat to his life on social media, he had not lodged a formal complaint in that regard at any police station. Investigations into the details of the perpetrators and the cause for committing the crime are underway.
Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Chief Government Whip, emphasized in Parliament today that the government is taking serious measures to combat underworld activities and will not take them lightly. His remarks came in response to concerns raised by opposition parties.
An individual disguised as a lawyer entered the Halsdorf Court number 5 and carried out a shooting. This is a significant crisis. Last night, 2 children were present during a shooting in mid-Denia. This is a major security issue in our country. Judges and lawyers are now in position where they have no security. The number of deaths has increased significantly. If we do not take this seriously, I do not know where this will end. Killing someone has become a trivial matter. The government is seriously considering these underworld activities. We have taken several measures to address this issue. However, opposition members are aware that the underworld is connected to various sectors, including black money and drug trafficking. Some of those involved are not even in Sri Lanka. Additionally, some members of the security forces have been found to be involved. We have deployed special task forces, police and intelligence units to tackle this issue. I want to emphasize that we are taking this matter very seriously. I request the Chief Government Whip to take strong decisions regarding law and order. We need to establish law and order in this society. Murders, violence and corruption cannot continue. We are ready to support the government in strengthening law and order. However, the power is in your hands. I urge you to make a special statement on the government's clear decisions regarding this situation.
Yes, we are taking
this matter seriously. I appreciate the leader of the opposition's clarification. The government has issued a statement through the Ministry of Defence to hand over weapons. Some have already been handed over, and investigations are ongoing. We are also working to bring back some criminals from India and Dubai to enforce the law. There are many steps being taken. While we cannot reveal all measures, I assure you that the government is intervening very strictly in these underworld activities. We will enforce the law rigorously. Yesterday, there was a murder in Mid-Denia involving a child as well. Another murder occurred inside a court in front of a judge. I am not going to discuss the behavior of the underworld. However, when such incidents happen, you say there is no security issue and people can go anywhere. But then, people are being killed in broad daylight. On the other hand, you ask for weapons to be handed over for investments to be brought in. Namal Rajapaksa spoke about the crimes that occurred in the past 2 days. I suggest he watch the interviews given by the deceased to a popular YouTube channel. He mentions who is trying to kill him. I invite him to watch it. Crime Watch.
The inaugural edition of the Innovation Island Summit, bringing together over 150 distinguished participants from 50 countries, will kick off tomorrow. The keynote address of the summit will be delivered by President Andrukumara Dissanayake. The Innovative Island Summit will explore the transformative dynamics of island nations, the innovations emerging from them and their impact on the global stage. Ministers, parliamentarians, senior officials and leading subject matter experts from 50 countries will take part in the summit's panels and roundtable discussions. The two-day summit will examine innovative solutions for accelerated development and growth and will explore key sectors defining the present and future trajectory of island economies and other states. Amitabh Kant, creator of the Incredible India campaign and India's G20 Sherpa, who was also the key driver of Make in India and Startup India, will also be speaking at the event. He shared insights on digital transformation in an exclusive interview with Newsfirst Jayamal Ratnayake ahead of the summit tomorrow.
So, in India, 1.4 billion people have a digital identity. Then between 2015 and 2017, we opened 550 million bank accounts. 55% of the bank accounts opened in the world were opened in India. And then we linked them with both the digital identity and the mobile number. And that enabled India to do fast payment. Everybody does a direct debit or credit from the bank, fast payments. For instance, I have not been to a physical bank, I have not been to a bank manager, I have not been to an ATM machine, or I have not used my debit card or credit card for the last 4.5 years. My mobile is my bank. I do everything from my mobile. And this doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Now, my view is that India has really leapfrogged, and as a study by the Bank of International Settlement has shown, that India achieved in 7 years, what it would have taken India 47 years to achieve. But a separate study by World Bank has shown that the cost of acquisition of a customer in India had fallen from $25 to less than 15 cents. From $25 to less than 15 cents because there's no paperwork involved. So India technologically leapfrogged in a very, very big way. We are now using this infrastructure that we built up, UPI, for DigiLocker, for improving learning outcome, for improving health outcomes. During COVID, we put money into the bank account of over 120 million women, not a single paisa of leakage. We put money into the people's beneficiaries' hand in 700 schemes of government without any leakages whatsoever. So India has become a very, very efficient country only because of the digital public infrastructure, which is open source, open API, globally interoperable. And when you transact on this, the data does not belong to the service provider, it belongs to the citizen. That is the difference between what India has built and what the Western world. When you do access Google, or when you access Meta, Facebook, or you access Amazon, the data is taken by the service provider. When you go to China, Tencent and Alibaba sit on your data. In India, that is not possible. The data belongs to the citizen of India.
The Innovative Island Summit is set to take place in Colombo on the 20th and 21st of February 2025.
The election of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka took place this afternoon. Attorney at Law Rajiv Amarasuriya was elected President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. Today's election was a contest between two candidates, Attorney Rajiv Amarasuriya and Attorney Dr. Sunil Aberatna. In more news, hot weather, declining air quality, a serious situation currently affecting our country that requires attention. The following report outlines the situation.
හැමෝම මේ දවස්වල කියන දෙයක් තමයි හුස්ම ගන්න පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරුයි. ඒ වගේම එළියට බහැලා යන්න බෑ පට්ට අවුවයි. හරියට එළියට බැහැලා පොඩි ගමනක් ගියොත් තමයි මේක තේරෙන්නේ කියලා ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සු පහුගිය දවස්වල හුඟක් කිව්වා. ඒ නිසායි අපි අද පාරට බැස්සේ. ඇත්තටම ලංකාවට මේ මොකක්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? අපි අද තොරතුරු කියන්න යන්නේ ඒ ගැන.
Air Quality Index, commonly known as AQI, is measured on a scale of 0 to 500. 0 to 50 units depict good air quality, while 51 to 100 represents moderate air quality. If the AQI surpasses 101 units, it is declared as unhealthy air quality. In recent days, the AQI in some areas of the country was recorded beyond 100, although over the past 24 hours, the AQI had improved. During the past 24-hour window, Ratnapura had recorded an AQI of 88. In Colombo, AQI was at 68, while in Amblipitia, it was at 80. The AQI in Jaffna and Kurunegala stood at 62, 64 in Kandy and 76 in Kegol.
ඇත්තටම ලංකාවේ වායු දූෂණය ඉහළ යන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් වායු ගුණාත්මකභාවය පහළ යන්න මොකක්ද හේතු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? වායු දූෂණයට ඇතිවීමට ප්‍රබලම හේතුව තමයි
Fuel combustion is the main reason for air pollution. This is not a phenomenon limited to our country. It is a global issue. We are aware that transboundary pollutants from India also contributes to this. On days where air pollution is high, one should wear a mask or limit outdoor activities.
එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට වැඩි එලිමහනේ ගැවසීම අවම කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක කළ යුතුයි. වායු ගුණාත්මකභාවය පහළ යාමෙන්ද සෞඛ්‍ය අංශ නම් කියන්නේ එළියට බහිද්දි මාස්ක් එකක් දාගෙන යන්න කියලා. හැබැයි මාස්ක් එකත් එක්ක මේ පට්ට අවුවේ ඇවිදිනවා කියන්නේ ඒක වෙනම කතාවක්. මාස්ක් එක අතේ අරන් යනකොට වතුර බොන එකයි. මේ රසද අපිට අමතක කරන්න බෑ.
Similar to declining air quality, Sri Lanka is experiencing severe heat. 5 provinces and several areas in Sri Lanka had been issued heat advisories as the temperature felt on the human body was expected to increase up to caution levels. The highest temperature over the past 24 hours was recorded from Ratnapura, which was 37.1 degrees Celsius. Kurunegala stood at 35.1 degrees Celsius, and in Anuradhapura it was 34.6 degrees.
හරි රසනේ.
මා රස්නයක් තියෙන්නේ මේ මන් දන්න මේ පිච්චෙන මේ
අවුව වෙසන්න බෑ මට බොහොම අමාරුයි මොකක් හරි ගහක් තියෙන තැනක් තමයි හොයාගෙන නැත්නම් මේ තොප්පිය තමයි අපි තිස්සම දාගන්නේ.
කොහොම යන්නද කරන්න යන්න වෙන රාජකාරිය දදා.
There's little to no breeze, mainly because precipitation is high. Since there isn't much cloud cover during the day, sunlight falls directly on earth. Since there's no breeze, our sweat does not dissipate. We expect a change in this situation from the 24th when rain has been predicted. We believe it will reduce temporarily, but for it to completely disappear, we would have to wait until May when the south-western monsoon sets in.
හැමුවට පස්සේ තමයි
සෞඛ්‍ය අංශ කියන විදිහට අකමැත්තෙන් වුණත් මේ වායු ගුණාත්මකභාවය හින්දා ඒ වගේම මේ අධික උණුසුම හින්දා අපිට තව මාස කිහිපයක් මේ කට කන්න වෙනවා. හැබැයි ඔබගේ ආරක්ෂාව ඔබ සලස ගන්න එක මේ වෙලාවේ ඔබගේ යුතුයකමක්. අපි ගිහින් එන්න.
පළාත් පාලන ආයතනවල සභිකයින්ගේ දුර කාලය ආරම්භ වීම පිළිබඳ සඳහන් අති විශේෂ ගැසට් නිවේදනය නිකුත් වී තිබෙනවා. එහි දැක්වෙන්නේ එක් මහනගර සභා, නගර සභා, ප්‍රාදේශීය සභා සභිකයින්ගේ දුර කාලය 2025 ජූනි මාස 2 වන දින සිට ආරම්භ විය යුතු බවයි. 252 වන අධිකාරිය වන මහනගර සභා ආච්ඡා පනතේ 10 වන වගන්තියේ පළමු වන උපවගන්තියේ ආච්ඡේදයෙන් පැවරී ඇති බලතල ප්‍රකාරව රාජ්‍ය පරිපාලන පළාත් සභා සහ පළාත් පාලන අමාත්‍ය AHMH අබේරත්න මහතා විසින් මෙය නියම කර තිබෙනවා. මෙන්න නැවතත් එම ප්‍රවෘත්තිය පළාත් පාලන ආයතනවල සභිකයන්ගේ දුර කාලය ආරම්භ වීම පිළිබඳ සඳහන් අති විශේෂ ගැසට් නිවේදනය නිකුත් වී තිබෙනවා. එහි දැක්වෙන්නේ එක් මහනගර සභා, නගර සභා, ප්‍රාදේශීය සභා සභිකයන්ගේ දුර කාලය 2025 ජූනි 2 වනදා සිට ආරම්භ විය යුතු බවයි. 252 වන අධිකාරිය වන මහනගර සභා ආච්ඡා පනතේ 10 වන වගන්තියේ පළමු වන උපවගන්තියේ ආච්ඡේදයෙන් පැවරී ඇති බලතල ප්‍රකාරව රාජ්‍ය පරිපාලන පළාත් සභා සහ පළාත් පාලන අමාත්‍ය AHMH අබේරත්න මහතා විසින් මෙය නියම කර තිබෙනවා. ජයමාල්.
Thank you, Suren. In some news, we just received a gazette notification has been issued by the Minister of Public Administration, provincial councils and local government, announcing that the term for members of 274 local government authorities will begin on the 2nd of June 2025. Let me repeat that news alert once more. A Gazette notification has been issued by the Ministry of Public Administration, provincial councils and local government, announcing that the term for members of 274 local government authorities will begin on the 2nd of June 2025.
The research that was scheduled to be conducted today in Manna for the mining of mineral sand has been suspended.
Authorities from various departments visited the Walanagar area of Olaituluwai in Manna today for research regarding the mining of mineral sand in private lands. The research was scheduled to be conducted today to prepare a document for obtaining environmental department approval. However, locals continued to express their opposition to the mining of mineral sand.
His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, Archbishop of Colombo, made a passionate plea for the protection of the environment and the restoration of ethical governance in Sri Lanka. Speaking at an event to mark 20 years since the Indian Ocean tsunami, he highlighted the detrimental impact of humanity's greed on the planet and called for a collective effort to safeguard the environment.
The craving of modern humanity to exploit the God-given resources of this planet for money, to become rich, has hit our planet very hard. We do not appreciate this. And so, the craving for money, the craving for power, you can see hitting even our own country, Sri Lanka, exploiting. You can go and see the areas that have been dug out, entire areas towards Polonnaruwa, that area, dug out for sand mining, without any concern for the beauty of the place. Just because you are closely connected to a politician, you can get all of that. This system that we have enjoyed over the years, it's a violent system, violent and wounded by sin. Sinfulness of man has destroyed our planet. All these things that have happened, including the tsunami, all of these are results of our own selfishness in respecting and loving and living within this planet with a sense of belonging. We do not appreciate this gift of God to us, this beautiful green planet. And our country, Sri Lanka, a beautiful country, green, from north to south, south to north. It is so full of variety, so much so that the foreigners fall in love with this country when they come here. This is it. This is our home. And it is our responsibility as citizens of this country to protect this environment, to somehow ensure that our political ambitions, that are craving for money, that are craving for dominance of others, will not harm this beautiful country or this beautiful planet. Some of the major multinational companies that have been robbing and stealing our assets, they still continue to do so after having given money and after having helped some of our own local politicians. This happened in the last 76 years in our country, and our people were fed up. They wanted a change. That's why they went for a change. And it's important for us to restore proper democracy, proper values, and a good conscience in order to respect the beautiful planet that we have inherited.
Sri Lankan President Andrakumara Dissanayake anticipates debt repayment capability by 2028 through proper economic management. The President made this statement while participating in the 2025 post-budget discussion.
Senior Presidential Advisor Duminda Hulangamua, MBA Alumni Association President Suraj Radhampula and other experts and business leaders attended the discussion.
By 2028, we aim to achieve debt repayment capability by effectively utilizing the 3-year hiatus we have had. Our next budget goal is to focus on how to achieve economic growth and expansion, how to push the economy forward in rural areas, and how to turn non-participants into stakeholders in the economy. This is crucial. We are no longer in an era of borrowing economy, but in an era connected to the global market. Therefore, we need to create economic units at the rural level. Our expectation is to expand the economy in villages and create certain economic units. The benefits of this should reach the household economy. Building a separate economic unit for each household is challenging. Next, we will focus significantly on education. Additionally, managing state expenses is a priority. The heavy burden of state services is not the issue, but the cost of providing these services is substantial. Therefore, under the leadership of the Prime Minister's Secretary, a committee has been appointed to reassess these state institutions. Some state institutions may need to be merged, their purposes changed, or their management structures altered. We expect this to happen.
The President also clarified the goal of reducing electricity costs.
Specifically in the energy sector, I must tell you this is very important for our economy. Recent reports indicate that we have the highest electricity bill in the region. However, we cannot enter the industrial or export markets with such high electricity costs. Therefore, we need to reduce this cost. Currently, it costs about 13 cents to produce 1 unit of electricity. Our goal is to reduce this to 8 cents. To achieve this, renewable energy sources need to cost less than 5 to 6 cents.
The Kilinochchi Magistrates Court has fined 14 Indian fishermen with 50,000 rupees each for fishing in Sri Lankan waters using an illegal trawler. The magistrate also fined the owner of the vessel with 12 million rupees. The magistrate also sentenced a fisherman who was already on a suspended sentence to 18 months in prison. In more local news, Japan's ambassador to Sri Lanka paid tribute to Sri Lanka's historic support during an event to mark Japan's National Day.
The Japanese embassy celebrated Japan's National Day in Colombo.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II and the establishment of the United Nations. I made my first trip to Trincomalee last month, during which I visited the site of a Japanese fighter plane crashing into one of the old oil tanks there some 80 years ago. It reminded me of the sad part of our history involving Sri Lanka. Japan started all over again from the scratch after the war with the support of many friendly countries. And among those countries, we never forget Sri Lanka with the memory of His Excellency J.R. Jayawardena, representing the then government of Ceylon in San Francisco Peace Conference and expressing strong support for a free and independent Japan, while renouncing Sri Lanka's own reparation claims against Japan. We will also cooperate with Sri Lanka in fighting corruption and delivering on clean Sri Lanka.
The chief guest for the event was Dr. Pani Lage, Minister of Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment.
The friendship between Sri Lanka and Japan is built on a strong foundation of historical and cultural ties, mutual respect and shared values. The relationship has grown steadily over the past 7 decades into a multi-phase partnership encompassing political, economic and people-to-people cooperation. Sri Lanka extended its unwavering support for Japan's post-war reintegration into the international community, at the 1951 San Francisco Peace Conference. And this remains a defining moment in our diplomatic history. Japan, in turn, has consistently extended its hands in goodwill and assistance, contributing significantly to Sri Lanka's development. Japan's steadfast role as the co-chair of the official credit committee was instrumental in ensuring the success of Sri Lanka's debt restructuring process, making a critical step in our economic recovery.
The event was joined by several government and private sector figures.
Jayawardena, the former president of Sri Lanka, played a significant role in supporting Japan after the Second World War. His most notable contribution was during the San Francisco Peace Conference in 1951, where he delivered a powerful speech advocating for Japan's rehabilitation and reintegration into the international community.
May be liberated. We in Ceylon were fortunate that we were not invaded, but the damage caused by air raids, by the stationing of enormous armies under the Southeast Asia Command, and by the slaughter of one of our chief natural commodities, rubber, when we were the only producers of natural rubber for their life, entitled us to ask that the damage so caused should be repaired. We do not intend to do so, for we believe in the words of the great teacher whose message has ennobled the lives of countless millions in Asia, that hatred ceases not by hatred but by love. It is a message of Buddha, the great teacher, the founder of Buddhism, which spread a wave of humanism through South Asia, Burma, Laos, Cambodia, Siam, Indonesia and Ceylon, and also northwards through the Himalayas into Tibet, China and finally Japan, which bound us together for hundreds of years with a common culture and heritage. This common culture still exists, as I found on my visit to Japan last week on my way to attend this conference, and from the leaders of Japan, ministers of state as well as private citizens from their temple. I gather the impression that the common people of Japan are still influenced by the shadow of that great teaching of peace and wish to follow it. We must give them that opportunity.
International renowned chef, restaurateur, television presenter and author Peter Kuruvita is on an extraordinary culinary tour through the lesser explored northeast of Sri Lanka.
Internationally renowned chef, restaurateur, television presenter and author Peter Kuruvita, who is on an extraordinary culinary tour through the lesser explored northeast of Sri Lanka, visited Fox Resorts, Jaffna, where he indulged in the culinary delicacies of Jaffna.
India often soft. No, because they ladle down.
Put the ladle down.
Yeah.
Very quick.
But too much. Yeah.
See, I give instructions.
Okay, try and get underneath it now. I'm here at the beautiful Fox Jaffna. We are so happy to be here. And the most important thing, I think, is to bring the culture of Jaffna and the beauty of Jaffna to everyone. I have 20 guests behind me, and all of them, for the first time, they've witnessed and seen this beautiful city. And we finished off with an incredible cultural show to show the diversity and the beauty of this area. So here, for me, I'm I'm promoting tourism. I'm bringing people to Jaffna. I'm bringing people around Sri Lanka to show what this country has to offer. It's not Bali, it's not any other place. This is one of the most unique countries in the world with deep, rich history, deep, rich culture, and so many incredible experiences for tourists to have.
In his tour to Sri Lanka, Peter Kuruvitta uncovers the culinary treasures of Muslim, Tamil and Sri Lankan cuisine as he traverses from hill country to coast, mastering the art of kotti roti and indulging the flavors of Jaffna seafood. Renowned chef Peter is well known for establishing Sydney's iconic Flying Fish restaurant, which he opened in 2004, and successfully led the kitchen team as executive chef for 8 years. Over the years, Peter Kuruvitta has consulted on many projects from hotel openings, restaurant design and food and beverage operations.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.